Well, hello there, friends and family. We're out and about today and sort of got a chore we need to do. So I thought I'd take y'all along and explain some of it to you, since I've had some viewers asking about it. And we're over at the old truck tire planters. And what you're looking at right now is the radishes I have planted in one of those truck tires. You can see all these nice, pretty flowers coming up on every one of them now. See, what'll happen when the weather turns warm and starts to get hotter, your radishes are gonna bolt. In other words, you're gonna get this long center stem coming up. And at the end of it, like you see right here, you're gonna see the flowers. And right below the flowers is you're gonna see little bitty green pods. Yep. Well, those will get larger, and that's where your seed's going to be. Now, these aren't nowhere near ready to harvest the seed, and they probably won't make it because I'm going to take these out of here before they mature the seed, because I really won't need it, and I'm going to show you why. So come on with me. We'll walk up to the old raised bed where we're going to be harvesting some radish seed. So, we'll do a quick walk up there and that, and we'll start grabbing some of that radish seed that's ready. We've already harvested quite a bit, but there's more. Okay, we're up here at the old raised bed. Now what you can see right there in front of you, right here, are the mature radish seed pods. See how they look? Now if you look over here on this one, you'll see the brown ones. As you come further, you'll see these green ones. They're not ready yet, so leave them alone. What you're going to be picking is these nice dry ones. And you're going to want to wait till a day where it hasn't rained, preferably in a day or two. And you don't want to do it in the early morning, because then these could have moisture on them from the dew. You want to let it get on up in there to either the early or later afternoon to make sure they're nice and dry. And these are. It's around 2:30 in the afternoon. And we haven't had rain in a few days, so I know they're nice and dry. Now all you gotta do is just start picking them off. Just so easy. Well, not too easy with one hand. And you're gonna want to have a little paper bag. And just so happens, Magoo here brought us one. Didn't you, Magoo? Yep, he did. Okay, Magoo, you didn't open it up for me. And you know I only got one hand here. Here, let's open that up. You gonna help? There we go. Did a fine job there, Magoo. Appreciate that. And that's all you're gonna do. You're just gonna keep plucking off these little dry pods. And inside them is gonna be anywhere from a couple of seeds to upwards, sometimes as many as 6, depending on how large the little pod is. You can see that one right there. Maybe it's going to focus. Has 1 in it, but that's okay. And you're just going to keep picking them off and that, and you're going to drop them in your little paper bag. It's just that simple. Now, you're not going to want to plant the whole seed pod. Well, you could. But then, depending on the size of this dried pod, you'll get either 1 plant, 2, or like I say, and upwards to 6 all in one place. Not good. Then you're going to have to thin them. And that just wastes seed. So, Hopefully you can see them down in there. So let me get on with this. And me and old Magoo here, once we're finished, we'll come back and we'll talk about what to do next. Okay, for the next step in the process, we've moved on in the house to my country kitchen. Now I was going to do this outside on the carport, but the wind got up a little bit, so we brought it on inside the house. So, we picked our radish seed pods, as you saw us doing, and they're now in this brown paper lunch bag right there. So let me get y'all set up, and we'll show you just how easy it is to continue with the process of harvesting and saving these radish seeds. So for the next part, you're just going to take out some of those nice dry radish seed pods. Now I ain't going to take out a pile of them here. Now you don't have to do this right away. And what I'm going to tell you is you could leave them in the pod, in the paper bag, and put it someplace dark, cool, dry place, and leave it. And when you get a nice rainy day or sometime in the winter time when you're bored, you can sit there and do this. And this is what you're going to do. You're just going to shuck the seeds out of these pods. Yep. And you're going to try your best to limit how much of the pod you get down in there. And you can use a bowl, you can use a paper plate like I'm doing, and you can see them dropping out there. And that. And I'm just going to move. So that little pod gave us 4 radish seed right there. So we're just going to move those over to the side of the plate. And we just continue cracking those pods open and letting those seeds drop out. And take what's left of the pod, throw over to the side. Now that one there had 6 seeds in it. That's rather good. I hope y'all can see that. And you just continue. Here's a little smaller one. And that, we're going to crack it apart. Those little smaller ones tend to be just a little bit more challenging. Seed just doesn't want to release well out of them. But that one, albeit it was smaller, gave us 2 seeds. Now you might be saying right now, well, this is awful tedious. Well, yep it is. That's why it's a good rainy day chore. Or winter day. And you're just going to continue that process, cracking open those dry seed pods and breaking out the seed, and try to remove as much of the dry seed pod matter out of your way. Now you're going to find some seed that might be a little bit misshapen. Now some just a little bit darker than others. Really don't matter. Okay? Now I just rake that all to the side. So out of those 4, we got, oh let's see there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 seeds. Now another thing you might be saying is, well that's a whole lot to go through just to get some radish seeds. Well, it may be, but that one there just didn't make it. I don't think that one is either. The rest look fine. And you will see some misshapen ones, or some, like these black ones. I'm just going to go ahead and take them on out. because I just don't like the way they look, and they might not germinate and be viable and sprout. So I'm just going to stay with the nice light colored ones, because I know they'll sprout. And something I told you in a previous video when I was talking a little bit about saving your radish seeds, you want to plant some now to see if indeed they are viable and if they'll sprout. And I did that over there in that little pot where I transplanted a couple sprigs of my Greek oregano. And they all came up. Had 100% germination. Now some people will tell you when they start to yellow your seed pods, you can go ahead, cut the whole top off and that, and just hang it up somewhere. I've done that before, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have as good of results as leaving them on the plant till the seeds were nice and dry on the plant. Now, not to say some of them didn't germinate, some of them did. But I didn't have 100%, 90%, or even 80% germination. That's all you're doing. You're just cracking those seed pods open, getting your seed out, and you just continue on. So we've only done about 5 or 6 little pods. Now when you get them to this stage and that, and here again, try to pick out as much of the seed pods as you can, and then you can put them in, well, you can put them back in that paper bag if you'd like to, or you can put them in a Ziploc freezer bag. I wouldn't use the little plastic sandwich bags. They're so thin. I use the freezer bags. Put them in there. I press out all the air. I seal them on up. And here again, especially if you're going to use them next year, you can put them in a cool, dark, dry place. Now, if you want to keep them for long term, I would say put them in the freezer, and they'll keep there for several years. And it's just that easy. Is this part of the process time consuming? Yes, it is. So you may be asking yourself right now why even go through all this trouble, and that's what I want to get back to a little bit. Well, first of all, I know seeds have got pricey. You go to any reputable online seed retailer, and you're going to see seeds from anywhere from $1.99 up to $4.95. And depending on what you're buying, whether it be tomatoes or peppers or what have you, radishes, you'll get anywhere from 25 to 100 seeds. Now stuff like lettuce and other tiny seeds, carrots, you may get 200 to 400. But that's still a lot to pay for seeds when you can get them for free. Now, my other advice is I would save seeds primarily from heirloom, open pollinated varieties. And most seed catalogs, when you purchase a seed, will tell you whether it's an heirloom, open pollinated, or a hybrid. Now, I'm not saying you can't save hybrid seeds, you can. But here's the thing with the hybrids. There's no guarantee that they're going to come back true to type. And what I mean by that is come back and bear the same type of fruit, same shape, size, flavor, have the same deep disease resistance and vigor as the plants you raised from the initial seed. Now, with all that said, I saved some hybrid seed, but it's from hybrids that have been out for 20, 30, 40 years. Because what makes an heirloom is it's been stabilized for 50 years. Yep. And that's why I'm always saying every heirloom was once upon a time a hybrid. And you can look that up. That's a fact. Now, many seed companies will continue, especially on varieties that they've developed, will continue to call them a hybrid. And the reason being, they want you to buy the seed. They don't want you to save it. One good example is the Parks Whopper tomato. That tomato was developed in 1971, I believe. So you do the math. It's a year away from more than being able to be called an heirloom. I save seed when I grow it, and I've had good luck with it. Rutgers is another tomato, and there's just so many more tomato varieties, pepper varieties, all different types of vegetables that once upon a time were crossbred, cross-pollinated that is, continuously to get them to the desired traits, flavor, productivity, vigor, disease resistance, drought resistance, what have you. And then that cross-pollination process was continued every year for however many years until the seed stock became stable. Because eventually it will. And you can take heirlooms. You can buy heirloom seed. And occasionally, or sometimes more than occasionally, you'll wind up with a vegetable, whether it be a bell pepper or tomato, or carrot, beet, or what have you, that just doesn't quite look like what you should be getting. It happens to me. It happens to every gardener who's been doing it a long, long time. But the advantage to saving your own seed is, first of all, it don't get no cheaper than this. It's basically free. It's a byproduct of growing your plants. And you don't need to let that many plants go to seed to have a whole pile of seed. I let about 12 radishes go to seed in the raised bed. By the time I get all these seed pods, not only in this bag, but I got another full bag, cracked open, shelled, cleaned up, and saved, oh, I'm going to have probably 400, 500, 600 seeds. Easy. Didn't cost me a thing. And you can do the same with your tomatoes, beets, lettuce, cabbage, broccoli, just about anything. Now, some vegetables take 2 years because they're biennial. The first year they won't produce seed, so you'll have to let them winter over and regrow the next spring, and then they'll shoot up center stalk, they'll bolt, and they'll give you seed. But another big advantage besides being cheap by letting some of your plants go to seed and harvesting them yourself is every year those plants and the seed from them adapt and become acclimatized to your growing area and environment. Yep, that's a proven fact. And I'm in the deep south. So I want my plants to be able to take the humidity, the heat, and the drought. So by saving my seed this year, replanting it next year, saving it again and saving it again and again, several years out, and continuing that process, the plants and the seed I harvest from them will get more and more adapted and acclimatized to my little area here in the deep south and my climate. Science has proven that. To me, yeah, it's cheap to do this. Some seeds are real pain. Like this ain't no fun sitting here cracking little seed pods apart and then clean up the seed. But it will have advantages. And if you think this is time consuming, wait till you do some lettuce. Those seeds are tiny. Another one, carrots. They're tiny. And then, I mean, it's your herbs. Dill. You ever wonder where the dill seed comes from that you see in little bottles on the spice racks in the store? Yep. Dill flowers are left to go to seed. That seed is harvested and put in those jars. Don't get there by magic. So anyway, that's just how simple it is to do radish seed. You just continue on the process, cracking open those seed pods, raking out your seed, clean up as much debris out of it, and save it back in your paper bag or put it in a freezer Ziploc bag. Freezer for long term. To me, it don't get no easier than this. But I hope that tells you everything you ever want to know about saving radish seeds. Wait till the pod is thoroughly dry, to where when you can take it between your fingers and hear that crack. Then harvest your seed pods by picking them off. And I don't know if you can hear this. We'll give it a go. Hear that crack? That's what you want. Then there's no doubt that that seed is ready. I've just learned that over the years. And I've tried it several other ways. Just let them turn yellow. Then cut the top off, hang them upside down somewhere. And then hopefully I get back to them before the seed pods pop, because they will crack open on their own and drop all the seed on the ground. But my method of waiting until you hear that nice snap, crack, when you put them between your thumb and index finger, I've always had great success with radish that way. As you saw when I put those seeds in that pot. I had 100% germination. Don't get no better than that. Now, one other thing to remember. With every year that goes by, the germination rate falls on seeds. Let's say the first year, first spring you replant it, maybe it was 95%. Second year that could drop to 80%. And the third year 70%. The fourth year it could drop down to 50%. That's a fact. So bear that in mind. Storing it properly is key too. Here again, just keep it in a cool, dry, dark place, or pop it in the freezer. Either way works. So like always, if y'all have any questions, I'm sure you'll leave it in the comments. I think I went over everything redundantly as normal. So that's about it. So that's everything old Mr. Tom knows about saving radish seed. Gets so easy. As you saw, Magoo was out helping. So, until I see y'all on the next video, y'all take care out there. Stay safe. And God bless each and every one of you. Goodbye for now.